In today's project video, we're going to be making rocket engines that can send our rocket hundreds of feet high out of a few simple household materials. Let's begin. To get started, we're going to need a 12-inch by 3/4 inch PVC riser. We're also going to need a 3/4 inch by 48 inch oak dowel. Now it's time to cut our materials to the right lengths. So I'm going to be using a miter saw to cut these. You can use any kind of saw that works, but whatever you use, you need to make sure that it measures at 5 inches for the riser. These are going to be our casings, so we want them to be a pretty exact measurement. Now measure and cut the riser at 5 inches. Then we're going to flip it around and cut it at 5 inches again. We should get 2 casings out of one riser. If you did it right, you should have 2 5-inch casings and 1 2-inch little piece of plastic. Oh yeah, while you're here, you're also going to want to cut your dowel at 10 inches long. Now, depending on when your dowel and riser were made, the dowel might actually not fit completely into the riser. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to get some heavy grit sandpaper and sand down the sides of the dowel till it fits completely into the riser. You're going to want to make sure this is fairly exact, and you want it to be flush with the bottom of the riser. Now we're going to want to grab something like a screwdriver or metal file or something, and we're going to want to scratch some deep scratches into each end of our casings. This will make it so the clay and fuel we put in our casings will hold better. Now we're going to want to grab some potassium nitrate stump remover. There's a fairly specific brand you need to get, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it in a little blender. Then you're going to want to blend it up so it's a very fine powder. You want it to be close to this consistency of powdered sugar, but just like a heavier version of it. Potassium nitrate is what we call hygroscopic. This means it absorbs moisture from the air. This is not a good thing when you're trying to light it off and send it in the air. So what we're going to want to do is set an oven to 300 degrees and put it in the oven for about half an hour. Now you're going to want to grab some unscented kitty litter. This is the kind that doesn't have anything else. It's just clay and maybe a little bit of charcoal. And you're also going to want to blend that up into a fine powder. Once you've done that, you're going to want to let it settle. Right after you blend the kitty litter, if you do not let it settle, it can escape like a gas, and if you breathe it in, it's not healthy. So be careful with that. Now you're going to want to grab some powdered sugar and our freshly dried potassium nitrate. And then you're going to want to do 65% potassium nitrate to 35% powdered sugar by weight. It's easiest if you do it in 100 gram batches. Now you're going to want to put it in a container with a lid, and you're going to want to shake it up. This is the best way to mix up the fuel so it doesn't accidentally light on fire or anything like that. Now we're going to want to make what's called delay mix, and we're going to want to do 20 grams of our rocket fuel and 3 grams of ordinary household baking soda. Now you're going to want to put this in a paper cup and swirl it around to mix it. Now you're going to want to grab your 10-inch dowel and put a mark exactly at 5 inches. You're also going to want to put one at 4 1/4 inches, one and 12/16 inches, one and 7/16 inches, and one at 11/16 inches. You're going to want to do this very precise because the performance of your engines depends on it. Pour some of our clay into the riser. Now you're going to want to grab our ramming rod and a mallet, and you're going to want to mallet the clay down till it lines up exactly with the riser. So we have exactly 3/4 inch of clay. Then you're going to want to grab our white mix, which is our main fuel, and you're going to want to put some of that in our riser. You're going to want to grab our ramming rod and you're going to want to hit that down too till it, and keep putting some in till it lines up exactly with the line of the white mix. Then you're going to want to grab our delay mix and pour a little bit of that in. We want 5/16 of this delay mix, so we have a 5-second delay. And then you're going to put in another 3/4 inch of clay in the riser. And once you do that, it's time to drill the nozzle and add our parachute ejection charge. You're going to want to grab some drill bits. I'm using a 3/32 inch and a 7/32 inch. Notice how the drill bits line up exactly with each end of the delay mix, and there's a marking where each end of the riser. We want this so we can drill exactly how deep we need to so the rocket is exact as possible. Now you're going to want to grab a 7/32 inch bit and use it on the bottom of the casing. Make sure it's as centered as possible. This will make our rocket fly as high as possible. Once you do that, you're also going to want to drill a hole on the top part of the casing in the top clay with the 3/32 inch bit also exactly centered till you reach the marking on the back of the bit. Now for this part of the project, I'm going to be using gunpowder, but you can use any kind of fuel that will be able to push out the parachute. And you're going to want to grab a funnel and you're going to want to pour some gunpowder into our engine on the top, not the bottom. And you're going to want to tap it gently with a spoon. This will make it so the powder slides down the small hole to make contact with the delay mix so it can light off. Then you're going to want to grab our ramming rod and you're going to want to push it down nice and firm to compact it. Then grab something fire resistant. I'm going to be using our rocket wadding that we made last video and just ram that in there, and yeah, now you should be done. Now using it is as simple as screwing it into the bottom of the rocket, and then you can just light it off and it should just fly away. Thank you for watching the end of this Cubby Creates video. I seriously hope you guys enjoyed it, and before we end, I would just like to give a huge shout out to the King of Random. I got most of my inspiration for this project from their channel, and there will be a link in the description, so go check them out. If you have any projects you want me to do, tell me in the comments down below, and I'll look at them and I might actually do some. So yeah, please tell me if you have any ideas, and I'll see you all next time on Cubby Creates.